People ask me all the time, how do you get your lawn so smooth and flat like that? If you want your lawn to be flat and smooth like mine, follow these steps, and over time, you can have it smooth looking and beautiful, like a golf course. First step always is to mow the lawn as short as you could handle. For a lot of people, that's gonna mean scalping it. I've cut my lawn at about a 1/2 inch or about 5/8 of an inch tall. But for most people who are cutting it at 3 and 4 inches, you're gonna wanna scalp it down to about 1 inch or 2 inches, as low as you can mentally handle. I promise you, it's gonna be just fine. It's gonna look really bad as you scalp it, but it'll be okay. I did aerate my lawn before I am going to top dress. The reason I did that is because I want to let air, water, and nutrients be able to get down in there. And I've cleaned up all the plugs, but you don't have to do that if you don't want to. But the first step always is to mow the lawn as short as you could handle. I'm at the gravel pit here, okay? I'm ordering 10 tons of sand. His loader has a scale on it. So I don't know how many scoops that's gonna take or whatever, but it's 10 tons. This is how they mine the sand and gravel. It comes out as gravel, and then they use these machines here to separate it out into different sizes of sand. This is 1.5 millimeter sand. This is 2 millimeter sand screened too. So there it is. That looks about like 10 yards to me, or 10 tons. So got the weigh ticket right here and everything. He prints it out in his truck. It's 10.28 tons. So I am going to bring this truck right here onto the driveway. And everybody's gonna say, hey, you can't do that. It's gonna crack your driveway. Don't do that. But I'm gonna put that truck right here on the driveway, and everything's gonna be just fine. I've done it several times before, and I've had several videos showing that it's just fine. Look at the driveway. No cracks, okay? Except for that big one right there. But this is concrete, folks. Concrete cracks. The concrete here is reinforced, okay? I've got a 2x2 rebar mat and pit run underneath and gravel on top of that. I built this driveway, and it is set up and ready to go, and it can handle this kind of weight. So just hold your freaking horses and chill out. This is an Eco Lawn top dresser, okay? Compost spreader, sand spreader, salt spreader, whatever you want to do with it. This is a coarse sand screened to 2 millimeter, okay? They sell this to golf courses around here. This is the kind of sand you want to get. How are you going to find this kind of sand? You either want to go to your ready mix concrete supplier and ask them for mortar sand, screened. You want a coarse sand, you don't want a play sand. Coarse sand, screened to 1 to 2 millimeter or whatever. So when is the best time to be top dressing your lawn? You want to do this in the spring or fall if you're a cool season. If you're Bermuda, in the warm season grass down in the southern states, you're going to want to do this in the summertime when the grass is growing very vigorously. Your grass needs time to recover because you're going to kind of smother the lawn. So with a cool season lawn, you need to give it about a month or so to recover. That's why I'm doing it early fall. This is fall, Labor Day weekend. A lot of people ask and say, well, why don't you just dump the sand on the lawn where you're going to use it? But that would defeat the whole point of top dressing. The reason to top dress is to get rid of the bumps and the undulations. If you drive this thing on the lawn, you're going to have huge ruts in your lawn. I guess you could dump it on the corner, but I've done that before and I found this method works better. Just dump the dang sand in a neutral spot, folks. So many people are like, just dump it on the lawn, just dump it on the lawn. Oh my gosh, get over your dang self and don't worry about it. You can do this without a top dresser. If you watch some of my other videos, you'll see that I've done this several times with a shovel, with a skid steer, or just a shovel and a gorilla wagon cart. You just want to make sure you've got something powered to pull the wagon around. You're not going to want to try to do this with a wheelbarrow. That will not be a pretty sight. So this machine should make this a lot easier than in the years past. Should be able to spread this sand in about 2 hours with this machine, I'm hoping. In years past, when I've done 15 tons of sand, it's taken me, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 hours to spread that by hand.
Holy crap. Oh.
See that? Filled it right up.
That did fill it right up.
This is the best yet, folks. This machine is amazing. I realize that not everybody can get one of these machines. So if you can find a rental shop that will rent a top dresser like this, do it. Ask them for the Eco Lawn top dresser spreader, lawn applicator. If not, then just do it the old-fashioned way with a gorilla cart. Don't try it with a wheelbarrow. That just is misery. You gotta have something powered to pull the cart around, like four-wheeler, lawn tractor, something. I want to get a lot of sand over in this section over here where I did the new seeding last fall. So over there. So after you seed your lawn and grow some sod or seed or whatever, top dressing is amazing after. This kid, he's 10, almost 11 years old, small guy for his age. Well, he can seem to pull it off just fine on his own. I'm looking at this lawn, it looks to me like we're gonna need more sand. I normally get 15 tons, that was 10 tons. I'd like to possibly go get another load maybe. I don't know. Maybe another load and then drag it, I don't know. Because I'd like to do the back as well. With this machine, it's really easy to do this. But not everybody's gonna have the opportunity to use a machine like this. Do not be discouraged. You can do this with a wheelbarrow and a shovel or a dump cart. You don't have to have this fancy equipment. All right, so I'm back getting more sand back here at the pit, and he's weighing it out right now. I asked him for 10 ton, and then he'll dump it right here in my dump bin. So I went and got another 10¼ tons of sand. I felt like I was running out, and it was just a sad day. We weren't really able to get much of anything done over here. It's laid on pretty thick through here. I have a really low spot over here where it's settled, where I dug the trench for my water line to my shed. So you want your sand as dry as you can get. It's so much easier to drag in, and I can see we need more sand over here. So the next step after spreading your sand is going to be to knock down your piles. You want to use a landscape rake to do that, or some kind of drag or something to knock your piles down. You can use a motorized piece of equipment and use your drag to knock down your piles if you're using like a wheelbarrow or a gorilla cart. Next thing you want to do is get some sort of leveling device right here. You want to find something you can drag around. You need a motorized piece of equipment, whether it be a lawn tractor, four-wheeler. You can use a leveling device like this. You can use a pallet. You can use like a couple of 2x4s nailed together or 2x6s weighted down. This thing is really simple and easy. It's just a couple of pieces of metal bolted together. This thing's 8 feet long. I built one of these a few years ago, and I showed that in a video. You can refer to that video if you want. So it really doesn't have to be complicated at all. Just use whatever you got laying around. You can make one, you can buy one, you can use a pallet. Something easy, you just need something to drag around. Anything you can find to use to drag, use that. So you want to just drag and drag and drag. Slowly and consistently. You're trying to get all the sand worked down into the soil level. The sand will fill in all the low spots. Keep working at it and working at it, and the sand just melts into the soil. You can see is just kind of disappearing. I've drugged this area probably the most. You see there's not that much sand. So the drier your sand, the easiest this is to do. The best course of action is to spread it out and then let it dry, and then come back, drag, spread it out, let it dry, come back, drag. Some places are harder to get than others because of your obstacles that you got in the way, trees and such. We've got a really low spot right over here, so that is that's a hard spot for me to get. Hard for me to get right over here around this tree. I just came along and hit this tree right here, broke my bamboo stake, which is okay. Didn't damage the tree, so we're good there. That tree is pretty well dead. I think that's pretty good. The rest I'll just have to get by hand with the broom there. You do have to use a broom or one of those little leveling tools with the stick here and there. On the really heavy spots, you want to get out your broom and you sweep, and that'll work the sand down. So this is a really low spot right here, but if it's just mildly low, using a broom works great. But here, it's just too low. So it's just gonna have to be sand, and I'm gonna have to reseed that. If you completely smother the lawn, then the grass will not grow back. So with the broom, you can kind of get the grass blades up and get the sand worked down lower. I think it's been about 2 weeks since I put the sand down. I've since mowed the lawn one time. The sand is hard on the lawnmower, so I like to wait as long as I possibly can to mow it. But this has been about 2 weeks since I've mowed the lawn, and the sand has pretty well all disappeared. It is thin in certain places, okay? And those are some of my low areas, and that's pretty normal. But with fertilizer, water, and time, those places disappear and you end up with just straight lawn and grass. The biggest question that we have here is why sand and not soil? Why not maybe a mix? Why not straight soil? Why straight sand? And this is the reasoning behind that. The soil has organic matter in it, and the organic matter breaks down. So if you cover your lawn with soil and you put it down in there, work it down, and it's nice and smooth, the organic matter eventually breaks down and you end up almost right back where you started. Not quite, but you end up with bumps and undulations in the lawn. The point of the sand, no organic matter, it does not break down. Your lawn will naturally build soil over time as the roots cycle and as you get leaves and organic matter put into your lawn, and soil will build. But in the meantime, what we're trying to do is smooth the lawn out, make it super flat, and get all the bumps out. So sand works very well that way to make it smooth. So hang in there, give it time and patience, and your lawn can look amazing. If you want a lawn that looks like a golf course, you got to do what the golf courses do. So water, mowing, fertilizer, and leveling. So that'll do the trick for you guys if you want your lawn to look amazing. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.